2 days in a row, y'all. 2 days in a row. I've been up since around 5, a little after 5, and I have done my walk this morning. Got out and uh, walked around, walked my mile. That's about all I do. That's a shame, I know. But it's better than nothing, isn't it? It seems like I do feel better since I have been walking for a couple months now. And it seems like it has helped a little bit, trying to work on the old blood pressure a little bit. So that don't get me. Don't want that to get me. This is a new day, a Wednesday at 10 o'clock of all times. Not real sure how it's going to work out, but at least that I'll try, right? At least I'll try. Maybe I can get a folk or two in here, a person or two in here. And I do have some. I do have something I mentioned yesterday in my live that I will try and get to. Hopefully, hopefully I can get to it eventually. Been outside looking in my garden, and my garden's doing pretty good. My tomatoes are looking good. Probably the best tomatoes I've grown in a long time. Hey there, Paul. Good to see you. But my tomatoes, they're looking better probably than they have in several years. It might be because of all the rain that I'm getting. We've been getting a lot of rain. However, on the flip side, my squash is not doing that well at all. And I think it had to do, we went for several weeks without rain and it got dry. And so it didn't put on any female flowers. It just, the plant grew, got a lot of male flowers. Good morning, Brenda. Good to see you. Got a lot of male flowers on the squash, and they're pretty and they attract bees and insects and stuff. But the female flowers, they're not producing. So I've got to figure that out. I've got to figure out why in the world I'm not getting any female. Now, I've tried pruning them. I've tried a few of them that I've tried going through and pruning some of the leaves off and pruning some of the male flowers off. And hopefully that will result in more female flowers. Anyway, I've never grown squash good here in Purvis. I don't know why. I've always had success everywhere else I've gone. Everywhere else I've lived, I've had really good success in growing squash. But I'm not having much success with it here. And I don't know if it's the soil. I don't know if it's the location. I don't know. But I'm studying on it. I'm looking at it. And I've actually got some potted up or seeded up, if you will, that I'm going to try and put out, and I'm going to put a little bit extra care into them. I think most of the time what happens, I just plant out so many, it gets overwhelming and I don't take care of them like I need to. So I'm just going to try a couple and see if that helps out. I've got a couple of ideas in the making for some videos. Hopefully they'll come to fruition. We'll see. But it'll be what it'll be. What else is going on around here? My beans are slowly, they're not doing as well as they used to be. But they'll come back. I got them rattlesnake pole beans. They'll come back. I should have plenty. We're getting a mess as much as we want. And I've already put up quite a few from it. But I like them. I like my tunnel. I like my trellis with my rattlesnake pole bean on it, and I think it. I think it's. I think that was a fantastic idea. Some of y'all are smart, smart all over more than any place else. Just got to give you that. My turmeric, Zany Mae from Spring Meadow Farms and Garden over there in Florida, a couple of years ago sent me some turmeric. I don't know nothing about growing turmeric, but I have. Yeah, hey, well, Brenda, you don't want to pick all of them off, but mine are just putting them on by a dozen or more at a time. And when you got that many and you don't have any female flowers, then they're really not doing any good. So I've seen a thing where if you cut them back a little bit, now you don't want to cut the good ones off because those are the ones that are attracting the bees, but the ones that have died, those that are maybe some that are you just gotta kind of be judicious with it. You might have some that's just coming out. You may want to leave those in case you do have a female flower come up. They'll come out at the same time. I've even tried the getting a little bit or taking the male flower and pollinating the female flower, and that works. But you got to have female flowers to do it. You just got to have the female flowers to pollinate. My sunflowers aren't looking that good. Some of them are. They just come up on their own from last year, and I like sunflowers. They're pretty to me. They kind of shine, don't they? They look like little suns, and I like to look at them. And I got my sweet potatoes are growing, which I don't need sweet potatoes. I got more sweet potatoes than I know what to do with, canned up already. But I do have some growing because I want them to grow, and I'm hoping because I've never grown them before, and I'm hoping that I can get them, if nothing else, that I can keep them for seed for next year, because next year I'll need some. Whereas I don't need them this year, next year I will need some. Hey, Rebecca, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. This is a new day. This is just something I'm trying. I may eventually move my Tuesday live to Wednesday to give me a little bit more freedom and things that I've got to do around here. But we'll see. Well, I'll just say I hate to get away from the norm because people get used to the same thing all the time. But I'm the type of person, I like the same thing all the time. I get bored too easy. I'm just easily bored. That's just me. That's just me. Yesterday I mentioned about I had wrote up some things about you might be a homesteader if. And I've got several things. And I said, now y'all, if y'all come up with some, that would be awesome. But the reason I come up with it, I was the other day, me and old Paul went out. We picked 365 ears of corn, sweet corn, G90 sweet corn. Well, most of it was G90. I think some of it might have been Merit, but 365 ears of corn. And we, you had to shuck them, you had to silk them, then you blanch them, and then you got to cut it off the cob and cream it, because that's how we like it. And we wound up with getting like 35 quart bags of creamed corn out of it. So it came out to approximately 10 ears to a 10 ears to a bag, 10 ears to a quart bag. And they were decent. Ears of corn. Now I kept some of them. We kept some of them whole, just a few of them whole to have on the cob. And then my son ate some while we was in the process. He wanted to eat some raw, and then he wanted to eat some after they'd been boiled for 5 minutes. And anyway, we creamed those, And when you do that, hey, Michael, good to see you. When you do that, when you're creaming corn, it gets all over. I don't care how neat you try to be. It gets in your hair, it gets on your clothes, it gets on the floor, it gets on the pets, it gets on everything. It's just the way it is, and it's sticky. It's got sugar in it. It's sweet corn. It's what it is. But anyway, I was sitting there, and after about 150, 200 ears of corn, your mind begins to wonder. And I got to thinking, I said, you might be a homesteader if you got corn in your hair and on the floor and on your dog and on the walls and on your clothes, while you've been creaming corn. You know how your mind works. Sometimes you just get in your own little world. Well, I thought about that. I said, well, that's pretty, people, you watch all these homesteading videos, and it's, you come up with all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you a couple of them that I wrote down. And I just kind of, so I'll have to figure out how I want to word it, because I just kind of jotted the ideas down. But one of them was, if you're driving down the road and you see a used bathtub that somebody has thrown out, and you think that would make a good worm bin, you might be a homesteader. Hey, Joy, good to see you. Because everybody uses them bathtubs for their worm bins. Apparently, they make good worm bins. If you say that you're going grocery shopping and your spouse knows that you mean that you're going to pick the garden, you might be a homesteader. Genius, y'all, just genius. If you make your own vinegar, you might be a homesteader. If you make your own soap, you might be a homesteader. If you say you're going for a ride on your hog, and it really is a hog, you might be a homesteader. If you see a weed growing in the cracks of a sidewalk, and you mention to some complete stranger, that right there is good to eat, you might be a homesteader. Hold on just a second. Let me put this in here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it. I'll put this in here just in case anybody wants to come up. If you know what the word tincture means, you might be a homesteader. If you produce a YouTube channel and use the word homestead in your channel name, you might be a homesteader. Hey, Deb and OJ. If you know the meaning of permaculture, vermiculture, hugelkultur, you might be a homesteader. If you grind your own grits, you might be a homesteader. If you're excited to have wood chips dumped in your driveway, you might be a homesteader. When you get excited, when canning supplies go on sale, you might be a homesteader. Hey, Katie, good to see you. If you know how to milk a goat you might be a homesteader. If you know how to make sourdough, you might be a homesteader. This one was my favorite. If you mix water and rabbit poop and call it tea, you might be a homesteader. Y'all, that's gold. That's gold there. Hey, Drew's Lynn, good to see you. That's just genius. Y'all got it. I don't see no applause. You got to help me out here. You got to give me something, y'all. If you refer to the chicken as the gateway animal, you might be a homesteader. It's funny because it's true. It's funny because, hey, good eats. Good to see you. Good morning. If one of your favorite words is compost, you might be a homesteader. Hey there, Misha, where are you volunteering? Volunteering what? If you make your own cheese, you might be a homesteader. I wrote down a bunch of these, didn't I? If you go to the pantry for a can of beans, but it's really a jar of beans that you canned yourself, you might be a homesteader. Chicken is gateway. Hey there, Miss Virginia. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Library, church library. I'm a half-steader. Belinda, I wrote this one down, and Belinda didn't want me to use it. And since I decided I'm not going to do a video on it, I'll do it for y'all, and we won't tell nobody I used it. If you compost your own human waste and use it in the garden, you might be a homesteader. People do that, y'all. People do that. I ain't doing it, though. If you do it, that's fine. And if you know 500 ways to prepare rabbit, you might be a homesteader. Y'all, I think I went through them all. Y'all ain't helped me at all. I ain't seen one single homestead. The tea statement was what had me chuckling. Hey, Suzanne Goulet. Hey, Lazy Day. Jesse, good morning. Good to see y'all. I have just went, on that note. That's why Belinda didn't want me to use it. 500 ways. That's right. It seemed like, and by the way, speaking of that, old Megan from Living the Highlight, she was on my lives a month or two ago. I can't remember how long now, but she's got a new book out, I think, that's called So Many Ways to Prepare Rabbit. Her and Dreamweaver's Homestead, I believe, or had went together or something. Anyway, I don't know all the details. You can go over and check, and she'll tell you all about that. But she knows about them rabbits now. I'm a half-steader on the rabbits. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. We all doing good. It's all woke up this morning and the sun was shining. We didn't have no storm. Let's see here. Katie says that she has that new book out. She's doing well. Good deal. Whoops. I accidentally hit that, but it's a good one to hit. Thank you, Linda. I don't know why the dog's barking. Sometimes they bark because of the UPS guy coming in. Hey, Thunderstick Homestead, good to see you. And Sarah, good morning. It is it's actually clouding up now over here, but it was the sun. It was a beautiful day. A beautiful day this morning. I was walking around. It was nice and cool. Got my feet all wet from the dew and the grass. And let's see. You might find Belinda reading the latest 50 ways to leave your homestead if you use that human compost. Y'all got some rain. Well, we've had plenty of rain over here. Yeah, hey, Jesse, if Belinda hadn't left me by now, it would take some. That may be the straw on the camel's back if we done that. I actually one time I helped dig an outhouse, a hole for an outhouse. Years ago when I met Belinda, her daddy was up there doing mission work, little church in Milton, Tennessee, and it didn't have bathrooms in it, and we didn't have the money to put one in it and all that. And so we dug a hole and built an outhouse for it. And I don't know if anybody ever used it, but it was there in case somebody ever needed to. Well, we had some people come from South Mississippi up there, and they stopped in. They was on business up there, and they stopped in and they looked around and seen we didn't have no facilities. And they went back to their church and sent us enough money to build bathrooms on the back of that church. Glory, glory! I'm telling you. Hey there, our treasure home, Nancy. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. And I don't know. I didn't. Let me see up here somewhere. I put a link in if anybody wants to join. I don't know where it's at. It's up there somewhere. I'll throw it in again. Drew's Lens. I should have known that. Lindsay. Drew and Lindsay. Drew's Lens. I got you. Let's see. Copy. Click off. Come over here. Paste. And I did miss Drew's comment. Let me go up here and check and see what Drew said. Let me see what Drew said. Where is it at? How far up was it, Jesse? If you have tried to barter 3 times this last week, you might be a homesteader. That's right. Hey, homesteaders, they know how to trade their eggs and stuff. I don't know how I missed that. I just do. Well, you know how I missed it. If you do lives, you look, all these comments start running the same. I try not to miss them, but you do. I went back and got it, though. You're pretending to be working. If you need any pointers on that, I'm your man. If you are always apologizing for bits of hay and chicken feed in the family vehicle, you might be a homesteader. That's right. You gotta do what you gotta do, don't you? And there ain't no telling how many things that you can come out there with. Actually, I wrote all these down, and I said I better go back and check and see if anybody's ever done that. So I got on Google. And there's actually somebody that done I don't know if a video of it, but they done like a little blog of it. But they didn't have a lot of comments on it. They didn't have a whole lot of people comment on it. If you have a boatload of children to use as labor, you might be a homesteader. That's all right. I'm going to be cooking. What are you cooking? I want something to eat. What time is it? Well, it ain't quite time, but like I said, I've been up since 5. That's only 5.5 hours, so I hadn't had anything to eat. But I plan on getting me some. I've got to go get some more shavings today. He called me or texted me yesterday and said he had some more. He said he had some more, and therefore I need to come get them. And shavings to me, that's just as good as chips, wood chips. And right now I'm just putting them around the outside of the garden. I don't want them in the garden, but I'm bacon and burgers. Woo-wee. You had me at bacon, Brenda. You had me at bacon. Hey there, Happy Gardener. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I've got to go to a meeting and actually work. What? Hey, we don't allow. Katie, we don't allow that W word on here. We just rest in your eyes. A lot of people do that when I preach. When I'm in the pulpit, they're listening, but they close their eyes. They rest their eyes. Yeah, we don't allow that W word in here, Katie. Work. No sense in all that. No sense in that negativity. Been up since 4:30. Boy, you have been up, and you're in Eastern time, so it's about 11:30 over there, I'm guessing. Yeah, I need to get back to Tennessee. I like Tennessee. If mud haunts you, you might be a homesteader. Hey there, Nick. AZ Highland Homestead. There you go, homesteader. And he could probably come up with something about sheep. Something about sheep. You might be a homesteader if blah, 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 blah. Something about sheep. Sheep this, sheep that, something about sheep. And you could say that you might be a homesteader. Because old Nick, he's got him some sheep now. I like sheep. Have y'all seen Sarah Homestead and Coastal? She was in here. I don't know if she's still in here or not, but she was in here. She has this now that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Sarah, a homesteading hustle. She has this video out. She done one last year too, I think, or whenever it was. She gets this guy to come in and shear her sheep. And it's the most fascinating thing. This guy knows his business when it comes to sheep shearing. I mean, he does. He grabs them sheep, backs them up over to a tarp that he has over there by his shears, and he flips them over on their back, puts a leg behind one of his legs, and he gets after it. And it don't take him no time to shear them. And it's just so neat looking. It might be a homestead if your medicine cabinet consists of garlic, apple cider vinegar, and honey. Raw, of course. If you use the word organic on a regular basis. My daddy was snoring in church, and I had to wake him up before he hit the pew in front of me. My wife's daddy used to, he has that narcolepsy, and he'd fall asleep in church. And one day, my mother-in-law got upset with him for doing it. She had a little stick pin, and she stuck him with it when he fell asleep. And he jumped up and hollered, and it embarrassed her to no ends, y'all. And she never did poke him with a stick pin again. She just let him sleep. It is definitely a science and an art. It's something to behold. If you've never seen it, get over to Sarah Homesteading Hustle, and she, I mean, that's just a fascinating video to me. You might be a homesteader if you own more aprons than shoes. I can see that. I don't have aprons, but I do have shoes. I have boots. Boots. Oh, you having trouble with deer, huh? Hey there, Teresa. I know y'all been having some health issues. I guess that was with your husband. And I seen where it looked like where you came home from that. I hope everything's well. Susan Goulet, I've said hello to most everybody in the chat, I think. Yo, I'm on top of things this morning. I'm on top of things. Junior, that's what I was thinking of. Couldn't think of the name. Junior. You might be a homesteader if you carefully monitor your children's conversation with their friends just so they never figure out they have way more chores than other kids. Yeah. Stay off them websites. Them bad websites where the neighbor's kids are telling you they don't have to work. But you know what? I don't know what it is about work that sometimes I make fun of it, but I think that a person ought to work. And I had a man tell me one time, he's a preacher friend of mine. I was doing a revival over in Louisiana, and we was talking. And he was a hard worker. I mean, he's a. I'd hate to have to wrestle him because he ain't nothing but muscle. And I was telling him something one day and about his farm. He has a farm, raised cows and chickens, and I mean, not just he raises it big time, and commercially, I guess is what you'd call it. And I'd go dove hunting out there with them. They had a fantastic dove shoot most every year. But anyway, he told me one time, he said, well, the one thing about it, he said, my daddy taught me never to dread work. Don't dread it. And that's right. You get the right mindset, most anything. Got to get some aprons in front and back while frying bacon. Hey there, Doug, checking my phone. Got to go. Hope everyone has a good. I hope you have a good day too. His blood pressure was a bit high earlier. What? Hey, get them all to subscribe to Life with Blenda and Chuck, Doug. Get them all to subscribe. You might be a homesteader if your kids only go to 3 hours of school and 8 hours work, and that is considered an easy day. That's right. My kids, we homeschooled our kids off and on, depending on where we lived, because I was moving around every 5 years. It seemed like. I don't know. I don't know, Teresa. I'm thinking about it. I'm not real sure just yet. I hate to move a good thing, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. Right now, I'm trying to get a little bit more time for my watch hours. My watch hours are actually going backwards instead of forwards. I don't know why, but it's probably because I'm not getting as many hours as I'm losing off the back end. But that happens. So I said, well, I'll do a few more lives because that tends to get you more hours. And of course, this time next year, these will fall off, and I'll be brought back at it again. Yeah. Make sure everybody up there is subscribed. Trying to keep my other half alive. Hey, I understand it. It's a stress on people a lot of times to when they're going through situations, and a lot of times when you don't know what you're dealing with, it's very, very stressful. It is Wednesday. Yeah, my days is mixed up too. We had Bible school this week. So every day I think it's Wednesday, and it's not. But today is actually Wednesday, so that's a good thing. But we're just having that in the evening. I got a fella. If you was here yesterday on the live, I got a fella that is. There you go. Now I know you'll get them. I know you'll get the answers too, Teresa. Or it won't rest until you do. I got a fella that I called yesterday. He's supposed to be trying to find me some hay bales. That's right. That's right. It's bad luck to not be subscribed anyway. That's why there's millions of people that's having bad luck today because they're not subscribed. But anyway, he's supposed to be checking me out, trying to find me some hay bales and making sure they're not sprayed with that gray zone. Oh, you know what is going on in this world. Yeah. But at least you know what to do going forward, I guess, if there's anything that you can do going forward. Paul. He must be outside. I thought I heard something going on outside. But he's supposed to be getting me some hay bales because I'm fascinated by that. I don't know why it fascinates me, but I am. And there's something else that I like, and I know some of y'all try and delve into it a little bit. Is the permaculture, the food forest, and things like that. Round bales are $35 delivered. See, I don't want a round bale. I want them square bales. I'm hoping I can keep, because I'm somewhat allergic to it. Apparently, I used to never be allergic to anything, y'all. And as I've gotten older, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. But every time they cut the field right here by the house and across the road, it bothers me. But and one time, not thinking about it, not using my brain, I went out and got some hay, and I was just fluffing it up, throwing it in the garden, doing this and that, and I couldn't hardly breathe. And I was like, what in the world's going on? It's because I was fluffing up hay everywhere, and all that was, but I take an allergy pill. I'll be good. So I'm going to put some hay bales, and they're going to be stacked together, you see. And so I don't think the dust and the particles be flying around. Bill from Last Days Homesteading gave me a pretty good, he said he likes them, and he took a Sawzall and cut out a place, to put the soil in to plant. $3 a bale here for old hay. That's a good price, I would think, I guess. That's what I need. That's what I should have told him. I said, I need to ask for old hay. Stuff that people's just throwing away. I don't need the good stuff. Square versus hay. Yeah, I don't need the good stuff. I actually my son-in-law is supposed to be working on getting me some wood chips, but so far, no success. Which, when I asked him, they had some kind of big storm up north somewhere, and all the people that works at his company had to go up north with all their trucks and saws and everything and cut into chippers. So they were gone for like 2 weeks. And so I had to go 2 weeks because they were right here in the Purvis area when I thought about it. And like that day or the day after, they moved, they went off somewhere else. And hey, bud, you got the kids?
Yes, sir, they're outside. Paul said you were doing a live. So.
Oh, okay. That's my son. We don't feed our cows round bales or they won't get a full square meal. Yeah. Wood chips. Yeah, I tried that. But anyway, and he hadn't got back up with me. Let's see. Have you looked at the roost out method? Yeah, I have used it. I have looked at that. Straw is cheaper than hay. Yeah, but trying to find it around here, we don't have a whole lot of it around here. I guess maybe it's because not a lot of people grow wheat. Yeah, and there where Teresa is in West Tennessee, apparently hay is cheaper. So it probably all depends on where you live, and what they grow in the area, if that makes sense. Because let me put this away. Because if it's local, obviously, don't look in California. They've outlawed straws. Hey, that scamp from California, that governor over there, if you're from California, Katie Mayfield Ranch, I know you're from California. I mean, no disrespect to y'all, but that Yahoo over there, they was having some kind of argument with, I don't know, him and the dude from Florida. And you know how these politicians are, they fussing one another. And then he made the statement, he said, at least we're not Mississippi. That dude better not ever come over to Mississippi. He'll be in a world of hurt. You hear me? Them Mississippians don't. And the thing of it is, Mississippi's a good state. It's a great state. It's of all the places I've lived, I've enjoyed living here probably the most. And it may be because I've lived here with my wife and my children here the most. And I like Tennessee. I like Georgia. Those were nice places that I enjoyed because it was more country where I lived. I lived in Houston, but it was city, and I'm not a city person. Yeah, well, the company he works for, they do that. They go around, and they cut and they chip, and so they ought to have plenty. So I mean, and it may just be that he's forgotten. Hello, Leanne. Good to see you. I thought I heard the door open, and I got little people coming in, so I may not be on here much longer. What was I going to say? I don't remember now. But I'm thinking of the hay bales because I want to do the hay bale gardening. Just to try it, just see what it is. And at the end of the day, at the end of the winter, it's supposed to be compost, so I can use it as compost. It's a win-win, y'all. It's a win-win situation, and I like win-win situations. And speaking of wins, y'all, LSU won. Last night. They beat Tennessee. All you Tennessee folks up there, I'm sorry, but Tennessee got knocked out of the College World Series by my LSU Tigers. Of course, LSU's got to play Wake Forest tonight, and if they win tonight, they got to play them again tomorrow night. So I don't foresee us going any further because Wake Forest is the real deal, y'all. Yeah, Yahoo, and not a Yahoo, but just a Yahoo governor. I think he's lost his brain. What he was talking about, I think what they was talking about people leaving California, just the mass numbers of people leaving California, and he said, well, at least they're not implying that people are mass exiting Mississippi, which they're not. He used like an old census or whatever, and the census this now is it's just he's a politician, so he can lie with a straight face and make you believe him, which I don't trust none of them. I don't trust a single one of them. No. Y'all done got me all hot under the collar now. Them stinking politicians just get on my nerves. Get on my nerves. Oh, there you go. Look at here. Look at here. I knew I liked you for a reason, Teresa. I knew I liked you. 30 corporations that have left California. Yeah, I don't understand all that. I know there's other things behind there. Hey there, Linda. You got DWAFS, Chuck? I don't know what that is, Linda. I don't. DWAFS. Dwafts. If I leave the window open, I got a dwaff. Whack, whack, whack. But other than that, I don't know what a dwaff is. I just don't know. I'm clueless. And I don't know why at the bottom of my screen I got the stock report going on. And it ain't looking good over here. My son drove up. He's out of school. He teaches school. He pastors a church and he teaches school. Well, school was out for the summer, and got his two tiny people, and so he's come over to bug Pops. I'm hoping he's going to treat me out to lunch. That would be great, wouldn't it? So anyway, they have stayed outside so they weren't. They're coming up to Oregon and turning Oregon into California. I just don't understand that. I don't understand why you would leave someplace because of the way it is and go somewhere else and ruin it because of that. Hey, buddy.
How you doing? Let me move you to my main screen over here.
Hold on just a second. I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me.
Yep.
Well, myself.
Let me make sure I ain't got you. Uh,
Let me. Did you? Let me look at the settings.
let's see. I got all mine. All. Hey, can y'all hear him good?
Can you hear me? And can
And-
anybody in the chat hear me?
I can hear you, but it's low.
Hear me.
Keep talking. Keep saying something.
Howdy, friends and neighbors. This is your old pal El Monte Slim telling you, come on down to White Track here at Wilmington. We got some mighty fine bargains for you here. And don't forget to bring the kitty folks. We got free pony rides and lollipops.
Hey, that's louder. It's louder. Goodies thought it was little. It was low at first. I don't know why. It says it's got an echo, but I don't hear an echo.
I don't hear an echo either. Anyway, I just wanted to pop up and say congratulations on your new live day.
Well, I'm not real sure if it is or not, but I'm thinking about it.
Well, what's up, man? What's the thing about it? I mean, everybody knows you on Tuesday. Why would you want to change a good thing?
I know.
I'm not telling you, you know, it's the wrong decision. I'm just saying you got a good thing. And you got Miss Ann following you, and you got Danny Days following after that. Y'all are, I mean, it's almost like family day.
Family day. Hey, who's coming in? They want to come in so bad, but their daddy's not letting them.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. You know me. I go back and forth on things a zillion times before I say.
Well, you're just trying to change things up, see if you can generate some more interest. I understand. You need them watch hours.
Yeah.
Well,
another thing is a lot of times it's on Tuesday at 9:00. I notice a lot of the crowd starts coming in at the end of that hour, and it's almost.
So you're saying maybe if I go to 10 o'clock on Wednesday, I might get a better audience,
Right?
Or a fuller audience, not a better audience. I didn't mean that, folks.
I know what you're saying.
More of an audience on a Wednesday. Hey, I'm there for you either way.
Jesse is never wrong.
I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong. That's right. Who said that? Linda? Probably Linda.
Yeah, Linda. She said,
Just saying. In fact, I got a video went out this morning, guys. If y'all haven't seen it, it's just a lazy day, and I'm all by myself, folks. I had the mic to me, not to the shipping department, but to me. So
hey, it brought me back. I've been down through all that area, which is I don't know if it's changed that much since I've been down there.
I mean, they've added probably more cement and filled more potholes, but other than that, it hadn't changed.
Yeah, but I remember going. I didn't have to go downtown in that area a whole lot. Most of our stuff was along the outer edge of the Belt Loop.
Mm-hmm.
More where all the construction and stuff was going on at the time.
Right.
But I have gone through there a number of times. Never did like the traffic over there. Never did like it.
Yeah. No, Leanne, Lisa wasn't in it because I was taking my son downtown for an appointment. And while he was at his appointment, I was riding around town giving everybody a view of downtown. So she wasn't there. So it's not my fault. She didn't want to go.
I actually like downtown areas, but I don't like because they got the one-way roads. They got the cars parked on the side of the road, sometimes in the road, and I never know where I'm going.
And I had several people make comments about turning left, like Brenda, Miss Brenda. If you're in here, I think you are. You can't turn left on a one-way if it's red. So provided you stop first, and then you take, safely go on. But in Arkansas, same way. I Googled it to make sure. Arkansas, you can turn left on red as long as it's a one-way.
Well, it makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, then I had somebody in front of me going, should I go? No. Should I go? No. Should I go? And you couldn't make up their mind. Finally, they went. It's like,
well, they may have been from out of town.
Well, I it doesn't matter. Just yeah, because most places probably think they can't turn left, but it's a one-way. All the streets downtown, except for Maine, 90% of the streets are one way. Either way you go, they're always one way.
Yeah.
Main Street's one of the only ones that goes left and right. But then again, you don't want to get on Main Street because that's where the tram is at, or the train that goes from downtown to the NRG Stadium. It's got the train there. So and you only have like 9 feet when you're driving down that Main Street. You got 9 feet before the curb or the rail. You know, so I don't like driving down that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. They don't have that Astor World there anymore, do they?
No, they took it down a long time. It was starting to become a haven for gang members. There was a lot of gangs that would hang out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they tore it down. It was getting really, and they wouldn't update it. They wouldn't add no new rides or anything, you know. So they eventually got rid of it. And that's been by 20 years now. It's been gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were talking about building a new Astro World now somewhere outside of Houston, like around the Beltway area somewhere.
Right.
Building a new one, but I haven't seen anything transpire from that. So
one of the only tickets I've ever gotten for hunting was dove hunting, and it came when they was building that Beltway 8, and they hadn't completed it all the way, but they had a place where you could pull off, and it kind of went off into a field. And my uncle found it and said, "I guess it's, I guess you can hunt." So we went out there and hunted. And game warden come out there, and we hid in the woods. And he came through the woods and asked me, he said, "Do you got your license? Are you legal?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm legal. I'm good to go." And he said, "Well, let's go see what he wants." And we went out there, and he was like real nice and polite and everything. And he said, "Well, since we're talking, might as well see your license," just kind of offhand. And so we showed him our license. We talked a little bit. He said, "Well, since I'm here, I might as well check your guns. Make sure you got plugs in it." He checked our guns, and that was all legal. Talked a little bit more. He's all real friendly, He said, "Well, I guess since we're here, might as well check and see if you got a permission slip to be on this land."
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He said, "Well, I can see by your faces that you don't have that." And we was like, "Well, who do we get it from?" He said, "I don't know. It's public land." He said, "I guess you get it from the, who do you say, the mayor or the governor or something?" I don't know who he said. It was like,
well, if it was in the county, you probably have to go to the county to get it.
Yeah. But he said, he didn't even know who you'd have to get permission from.
Yeah.
But in, what is it, Harrison County? Is that what it's called? Harris County.
Where Houston is at. Most of Harris County is Houston.
It was Harris County. And I looked it up, and it was one of the only counties in the entire state of Texas. And Texas is a big state. A big state. One of the only counties at that time that you had to have written permission to be on any kind of land like that.
To hunt.
To hunt, right. And anyway, they brought us in, and my uncle volunteered to carry the guns into the courthouse or into the station there. And because I was out of town, I was from Louisiana, and I had an out-of-state license. So we was either going to have to pay it right then, pay the fine, or else get a court date. And my uncle was irate. He was like, "Hey, so he said, I want to see the judge. I want to go to the judge." And it was a holiday weekend, like September, Labor Day weekend, whatever it is. And so basically we got booked and got our guns taken away from us for a little bit of time.
Now, Chuck, does the chat know, and do your followers know that you have a criminal record? Have you disclosed that, or is this the first time we're hearing this?
Well, it was dismissed. It was dismissed.
He was booked, though, folks. He was booked.
And our guns, when we finally got them back, they were rusty. And I had just went over there, and we had to pay bail money, and you had to have cash to do it. And it was like on a weekend, on a holiday weekend.
Oh no!
And it just so happened we'd have had to spend the night in jail if I hadn't had any cash, or couldn't have got any. but I just so happened to had some cash up under my mattress, and because I hadn't even had time to go to the bank and get an account yet, and wound up it's like $300-400 to, it wasn't much, but it was for bail money. I was like, this is ridiculous. And but his wife at the time got a room for himself. Yeah. His wife at the time worked with somebody. She worked at a bank, and the security guard there knew somebody who knew somebody. Anyway, we basically got it cut down to just having to pay the court cost.
Yeah.
And which was stupid in my book anyway, but it's what it was. I had to pay it, and whether I liked it or not.
Well, the court cost, but you didn't get your bail money back, right?
I don't remember.
$300 or $400 that you had to pay for your bail.
I don't remember. I don't think I did get that back.
Because typically you don't get your bail money back.
Yeah. I don't remember all that. I know it was a several week process. Yeah. It wasn't just like the next day and we got it all worked out. It was several weeks. Yeah. But man, there was doves flying everywhere. They was near about lighting on our head. It was a fantastic place, but it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, there's a lot of doves out here, especially out in Deer Park, the belt loop. You're talking about the Beltway.
Yeah.
On Deer Park side, there's a ton of doves over there. We had so many doves out at Shell. I mean, we tried alarms, we tried zappers, we've tried noisemakers, we've shocked everything. You can't get rid of them doves. Them doves they're just everywhere.
Now I remember going somewhere on the south side of Houston, maybe on the Beltway or whatever it was. I can't remember.
I'm on the they call it South Loop. I'm on the south, the Beltway that's on the southern part of Houston.
Yeah. I remember going through there somewhere, and they had some kind of, I don't know if they had what kind of it was, if it was a plan or if it was or what it was, but I just remember there was something out there at the time, and they had literally thousands of doves. I mean, thousands of them. They were just everywhere on the side of the road. Hey, I appreciate you coming in, Thunderstick. Yeah, I'm about to go too. I'm going to go play with some grandbabies. Yahoo, yahoo. I may put them to work. Isn't that a homesteader?
Yep.
You might be a homesteader.
Yeah.
And
if you hunt illegally, you might be a homesteader.
You might be a home. The only 2 times I've ever gotten tickets is dove hunting. Once there in Houston, once up in Columbus, Mississippi. The guy where I went hunting with him had put corn out, and the game warden got us. But I didn't have to go to jail for that one. I just had to pay a ticket, which is much better.
As long as you didn't get your guns confiscated, that's the main thing.
And didn't get my gun confiscated. Yeah, I got my gun back, but when I got it back, it was rusted.
I know that, but at least you just got the ticket. He could have taken your guns with you and said, "Hey, you pick these up, next week, or when you come see the judge and that kind of stuff." But you got lucky on that one.
Yeah, it was aggravating. Let's see. My birdie cooed into sleep when I got him home first time from the hospital. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, look, Jesse, I appreciate you coming up. I hate to run out on you, but
not a problem. I just want to call you, come up and say hello.
Thank you so much. Thank everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all coming in. Hey, and also Altruistic, I think, is coming up next, aren't they?
Yeah, they're up about 11:30, I think, they come up.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day.